All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is the Top Producer Playbook Day 1 virtual event sponsored by Build Your Empire. I'm going to bring on our first guest speaker here. Give me just a second. Good morning, Allison. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us. Excited to have you. I know you've been in this business a while, and you've been putting in the work, and I know that you have some exciting stuff to share with people because
Yeah.
you're able to be successful and still have a family, still have a personal life, and still run great production. So that's something a lot of people are missing in this industry.
Yeah. Can I go ahead and share my screen?
Yep. If you go ahead and hit present there, then it'll bring it into the back room, and then I'll plug it in.
Perfect. Are we good?
Yep, there we go. All right, I will step out of the way and give you the stage, and you can introduce yourself and tell us about what you're going to speak about today.
Perfect. Sounds good. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to bring up my screen. All right. Well, to me, one of the biggest things that is missing in our industry is any semblance of balance. Pop it in the chat if you're here. First of all, I'm curious. Mitch, will I be able to see if people pop things in the chat or no?
You should be able to. There's I'm not sure how you see it.
That's okay. We'll go with it. I'm just curious if you can pop it in the chat. We'll see if it pops up on my side. If not, no worries at all. We'll just keep rolling with it. But I think one of the big things that's missed in our industry right now is any kind of balance. And we use the word balance, and I think that balance is somewhat of an unrealistic expectation depending on what season of your career that you're in. I'm in growth mode. I'm 34 years old. You can see my family in this picture here. I have a 7-month-old baby last week. I have a 19-month-old. I have 2 bonus kids, 11 and 9, who are with us the majority of the time. We are busy. I'm self-employed. My husband's self-employed. We don't necessarily get balance all the time, but it's really finding your flow, finding your special moments, where you can show up, where you can be fully present, and building a really, really big life. I'm being real that some days aren't perfect. I already know today I've got some evening stuff that I have to attend. I might miss bedtime. I might not be able to be at all of the things. And so just being really realistic about what that looks like. When I'm sitting in your seat, my biggest thing that I'm wondering is who the heck is this person? What did they build? And with those numbers, does that mean they have like 15 employees or what does it look like? In 2024, according to the Scotsman Guide, I was the #1 correspondent lender in the state of Minnesota, which we're excited about. We did 188 units for 76 million in production. Until last spring, it was myself and 1 staff member. I joined Guild Mortgage from a smaller mortgage company last February. And since then, we recruited on 10 loan officers and admin and transaction coordinators and processors and a whole bunch of stuff. But really, I built this business with myself and 1 other person. I don't have 15 people and an overnight employee who supports my production or anything else. I also birthed 1 human last year and kept 3 others alive, and my husband still likes me, which in my head is the biggest piece of success that there is. This is my family right now. We travel, we get to do fun things, we get to host special holidays with our family, but my life didn't always look like this by any means of the imagination. I think one of the most incredible things about this business is that the sky is truly the limit. No one puts a glass ceiling on you and says, you can't do more. You have to wait for someone else to give you the raise. I got to jump into this career, and all I had to do was work hard for myself every single day and be consistent to build an incredible life. Growing up, my parents got divorced when I was younger, and my mom, we just didn't have a ton of money. I had a great childhood. We just didn't have a ton of money. If anyone's ever heard of a program called Shop for a Cop, it's where you go shop with a police officer before Christmas. And to qualify for this program, you have to be part of a family who literally couldn't afford Christmas presents. I was one of those kids. And so the opportunity to build in this industry a career where I can spoil my kids rotten and they never have to worry about hopefully a thing in their lives is really, really impactful to me. And I think it's important to point that out because there's nothing special or different about me than there is about you. Anyone can build the career of their dreams. To be able to build an incredible career and have this life of balance, you have to be really, really clear about your numbers. You need to start granular on how to build your business. Sometimes we hear podcasts and these big thinking things, and we get off track with, okay, I'm going to create the morning routine, and now I'm going to have the nighttime routine, and I'm only going to work 40 hours a week. And I think people start in the wrong place. You have to back into it first and start really, really granular and know your numbers. So my numbers, I need to know first, how many leads do I need to take in every single month? And then after how many leads, how many pre-approvals do I need to bring in every single month? And how many purchase agreements do I need to bring in? So for me, I know I need to generate 70 leads every single month to be able to get 8 pre-approvals every single week, to get 5 purchase agreements every single week to be able to hit my numbers. I know that this is what I need because I track my business so closely to know I have a 46.7% lead to pre-application or pre-approval conversion. So from lead to pre-approval, almost 47% of our leads convert to a true pre-approval. And I know that 32% of all credit reports I pull will end up being a funded transaction in a 12-month rolling average. One big mistake is most people have literally no idea how many leads they need, they don't know anything about their business, right? They don't know how many leads they need. They don't know how many leads they even took in. They don't know how many pre-approvals they issued. They're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. Well, we can't start to get that balance until we've built the basics in our business to be able to get there. So starting with, okay, if I even want to get this many leads, how many realtors do I need to know, or financial advisors or referral partners to be able to even get 70 leads a month, right? You have to know each individual number. Then we start with our calendar. So we know now our metrics of what we need. So we know what we need on our calendar. So now if you've said, well, I need to meet with 3 new realtors every single week to get the 70 leads, to get 8 pre-approval meetings, to get 5 purchase agreements a week, then I want you to take a minute and you can go further out in your calendar, go 3 weeks, a month out, someplace there's nothing on your calendar already, and just start. And this is just me showing an example week of my calendar. Go to some place blank on your calendar. And I want you to start charting out, okay, in my perfect world, if I had 8 pre-approval meetings a week, where would they go on my calendar? Would they all be in the mornings on Mondays and Fridays? For me, I like to do pre-approval meetings in the afternoon. I apologize because I like to do realtor coffees in the morning. And so I know how many coffee appointment spots I need, and I fill them every single week. And I know how many mortgage pre-approval meetings I need every single week, and I fill them every single week. My team knows if they talk to a lead and they say, hey, you need to get pre-approved, blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect. The next step is to connect with Allison on a Zoom or a Teams. Do you have time this week, Friday at 10:30 a.m.? Because you can see in my calendar, I have a block held for mortgage pre-approvals. And so they're going to put it right here into this block, for example. I've got drive time on my calendar because turns out it takes time to get places, right? If you're at a coffee meeting in the morning, you can't book your power hour calls immediately after that because they probably won't happen because you'll be in the car. And so 2 weeks in advance, I'm always looking out at my calendar to figure out what I need to tweak, what I need to change, what's feeling too pinched, and where things need to shift. If you don't have a steady baseline for building out your calendar with time to reply to emails, time to put out fires, every single time something goes wrong, everything will get thrown off. I have team meetings in here. I have drive time in here. I have a school visit I had to do for my kids this week. Every little thing I need to do through the day goes on my calendar. If I have to create a bomb video to send to my database for my annual mortgage reviews, there you can see on Tuesday, there's a 30-minute time slot or a 15-minute time slot for me to quick record those videos. Otherwise, it's not on the calendar. It's not going to happen. And then after we've slated our entire calendar, take a step back and really look at it. Where are the gaps? For me, and for a lot of moms, you might look at this and go, okay, well, that's great, but I can't start meetings at 8 a.m. or get to a coffee by 8:30 because I've got to drop my kids off at school, right? I have 4 kids at home. So, right, for some of those things get unrealistic. So then what I had to say is, okay, we need to shift what our help looks like at home to figure out what support I need because this isn't realistic. How would I brush my hair and brush my teeth and get to a meeting by 8 o'clock while I'm dropping off kids at the exact same time? It just doesn't work. And so getting really, really honest about what help you need. So now my nanny comes at 7 a.m. That way I have time to put on clothes without getting spit up and throw up on them before I leave the house for the day. I've got a little time to just like connect with myself and have a clear brain and think for the day so that when I head out the door and head to a coffee meeting, I don't show up frazzled and like I'm complete chaos. Is there other times in my day where I'm frazzled in complete chaos? Yeah, there is. It's just not when I'm showing up to a prospecting meeting, right? It's getting really, really intentional and real about what that structure looks like for you. And then we're figuring out where your gap is. For a lot of people, their gap is at home. And the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I think this is the most untalked about real conversation that's missing from our industry right now. A lot of people in our industry are women. And as a woman, there's, Katie just commented, I say your quote every day, there aren't enough hours in a day, but there is enough minutes. Yes. So and we always hear, oh, there's not enough hours in a day. I can't get it all done. I promise you, there is enough minutes in the day to get it all done. I spare no minutes in the day, right? If I am in the car, I'm on the phone. If I am, if I'm present with my kids, I'm not side scrolling on Instagram and then later on complaining that I don't get enough time with my kids. If I'm with my kids, I'm really present with my kids. I'm right there with them. I'm on the ground. I'm playing Legos. I'm not half watching a TV show and not paying attention to them. Everything I do has to come with great intentionality to be able to enjoy my life and live it this way. But to be able to do that, you have to have a really strong base. And I think especially with women, oftentimes we get distracted or we don't get the support we need. And we're a little embarrassed to say that we're not getting the support we need. My husband, you saw him in the pictures. His name is Lane. He's wonderful. Guess what? He's a husband. He is not one of these dads you see on Instagram who like woke up today really excited to watch our toddler while I have to go to a work dinner tonight. In fact, he sent me an Instagram video. You can go to my Instagram. It's on there. He sent it to me and it's someone like, it's like an ER doctor checking this like wounded man being like, are you okay? Are you safe? Let's check under your arms. Are you going to scar there? Very dramatic. And the comment says like, after my husband has to watch my toddler for 5 minutes or something. But realistically, that's what a lot of women are dealing with because men and women are wired differently. And that is totally okay. But how do we lean into that, work through it, and get the support that we need? And be really, really real about what this looks like. So my mentor and coach, she told me months ago, you need to have a monthly meeting with your husband about your finances and digging into these things. So we would start to sit down every single month. And slowly I realized this isn't as impactful as I want it to be. Really what would happen is I said, hey, we need to sit down every single month and we need to go through this budget together and talk through these things. And my husband would stare across me at the kitchen island, kind of annoyed that we were doing this, and was like, okay, all right, this isn't working. I feel like I'm pulling teeth. I got to get a little more buy-in. So we changed the meeting to be every single Sunday, and we made a meeting agenda. If you're watching this or watching a recording of this, you can DM me on Instagram, Allison Larson Loans, and I will gladly share my marriage meeting agenda with you. I've shared it with so many people over time. I also have a really cool list of efficiency hacks I can send to you as well, or they're in my Stan store. You can click on the link there for them too. But what this marriage meeting does is it gives us 30 minutes every single week to get really, really clear. Because what would happen is I would stare across at my husband and go, is there anything else I can do to support you this week? Is there anything else you're worried about? And he'd be like, no. And it's not always so obvious that we need someone to ask us these same things back. So our agenda allows us to do that because it's a piece of paper that we read together and we fill out every single question and answer them together. So Monday through Friday, we're going to review together who's making what for dinner, literally who's making the dinner, who's responsible for getting the groceries, what the plan is. Monday through Friday, who's dropping off kids at school, who's picking up kids from school. Is there tutoring after school? Is there a soccer game? Is there a baseball game? Do two people need to be in the same place at once and our calendar is going to be frazzled and we need to ask for help? We decide all of these things on Sunday. There is no room for error in our house. The other questions are that people don't want to talk about is there anything you're stressed about this week, nervous about that I can support you on? How much better would you feel going into every single week if you and your husband looked at each other and said, is there anything I can support you on this week that you're worried about? Tomorrow, I have a bunch of people flying in from corporate and I'm hosting a big event. We have over 100 realtors RSVP'd. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm feeling a little bit stressed. I want to get there early. I can't have kid chaos in the morning. So on my Sunday meeting, I said, hey, I'm a little nervous about this. One, I'd love for you to be there and support me. But two, can you be on kid duty that morning? So all I have to worry about is getting myself up and ready and going out the door. If you're listening to this right now, tell me if you're a female, I want you to put it in the chat, or if you're a dude and you realize, wow, I never asked my wife this question, put it in the chat if this is relatable. If you've ever had those mornings where you're like, God, I'm so frustrated. Why don't they know to support me? And the reality is they don't know to support you because you never asked them to, right? Those are real things that we go through. Other things that are on our agenda is, hey, are you worried about money? I'm not the CFO of my household. My husband runs our bank accounts. He runs our investments. He runs all of the income. To be totally honest with you, I don't even pay attention to when I get paid. I see my commission tracker and the loans are closing. I'm like, whoa, we're making tons of money. And I don't even go check my bank account to see, like, did we have to also spend a lot of money? And so I just allow that stress to go on my husband without thinking about it. That's not fair. We're a partnership in this. And so getting really, really clear on, like, are you worried about anything with money? What income? He's self-employed too. What income do you have coming in? What big bills do we have? Oh, we just had to pay another tax bill we didn't expect. Those are real things you have to have a conversation about. And so many people in their marriages aren't having those conversations. The other piece that I actually watched myself and my husband you guys, this is the most relatable. The other week, so I am usually the last person to go to bed in our house. And again, I say this with absolute love. I joke about it to my husband. Men and women are wired differently, and that is okay. But we have to be really, really real about how we're wired differently and have conversations around it. Oftentimes, I go to bed after my husband. I just fall asleep after him. And I'm not lying. I wake up 2 hours ahead of him. 2 entire hours I've been awake. I've ran 5 miles. I probably worked for 30 minutes. I made everyone breakfast. I packed my bag. I do all of these things before he's even awake. A week or so ago, I came upstairs and he was in bed sleeping. And I came up to him and I put my hand on his forehead. I'm like, are you ill? Why is it that you need so much more rest than I do? Like, what is going on here? And he laughed and it was just funny. But we have to communicate those things. Like when I had a newborn and I'm sleeping 4 hours a night, plus still working because I'm self-employed, I don't get maternity leave. I had to say, like, sometimes I kind of hate you when I see you sleeping and I'm not sleeping. Can we give a little? And he was like, yeah, I'll set my alarm for an hour earlier. And maybe you could try and sleep another hour before you head to the office. We just have to ask, right? It's just getting really, really real about what we need. And then throughout the week, when these things go rogue, be honest about, like, hey, this didn't work for me this week. Or you said you were going to do X, Y, Z, and it didn't happen. And logging and talking about, okay, this is what happened last week. This didn't work. So if you've got kids, ear infections will be the death of you, right? Like every other day, someone has an ear infection and I've got to go to the doctor. And now I've got to go to the doctor, which is really 3 hours of my day because I had to call the doctor, get in. Now they have to go at some arbitrary time during the middle of the business day. It takes me 20 minutes to go pick up my kid, get him packed up to go to the doctor, then 15 minutes to get to the doctor, an hour in the doctor's office between waiting for the appointment, checking the ear, confirming the ear infection. Now someone's got to go pick up the prescription. There goes your workday. Like as a mom, we want to take all these things on, which is great. I don't want to be the mom who only works and has a big career. I want to be the mom who gets to go to the doctor's appointments and gets to have the big career and do all of these things. And it's figuring out how we fit all those things in. Every female who's listening to this right now or listens to the recording, the number one thing I need you to do is right now go on Amazon and order the book Fair Play. A good friend of mine mentioned it to me one time. And I was like, what is this book about? And I ordered it. And within one chapter, I was mind blown. I was like, I've never felt so seen in my entire life. This is BS. I'm changing the way my household runs. And this book, Fair Play, brings in this concept where there's a deck of cards, which we have this deck of cards at my house, and you go through and you talk about tasks that you own and the unseen work in the household. For example, when your kid has a birthday party on Saturday and someone still has to go to Target during the week to get the birthday gift, who's responsible to do that? Probably not my husband. That's my task. But if I take on all of the tasks like that, and I make dinner, and I clean up the kitchen after dinner, and I take the dog, there's no room for me to breathe or work out or be a person. And my husband's never said he won't take the dog on a walk or that he can't make dinner. I just had to be able to communicate these things. But if we don't even know the right things of what's weighing us down to communicate it, because we haven't been clear, tracked it, logged it, had a lot of communication around it, there's no hope for us to offload these things. I learned this recently. I did not know this. I was getting a massage and my masseuse told me, who I wasn't sure if this was true, but I did Google it after and did a lot of reading, and it is true. Anxiety and gratitude can't coexist. Those emotions are made by the same place in your brain, and you cannot feel anxious and grateful at the same time. Oftentimes, when we're self-employed, we live in this space of anxiety all day, every day. I'm doing too much. I'm not doing enough. I feel like I didn't get anything done today. Oh my gosh, a client called me. Someone's mad about the interest rate and this and that. And as soon as we stop and reshift our mindset, we can take a step back. We can push it into a place of gratitude, and it will take the anxiety away. As a mom, oftentimes you have this feeling of, I worked 9 hours today and now I'm exhausted and I just want to get home and I feel guilty. I'm not playing with my kids. And then we sit and play with our kids for an hour, and half the time we're not even paying attention to our kids because now we're watching Netflix in the background and we're just kind of going through the motions and going through the paces. Creating magical moments and being really present and intentional is the key to feeling that you have the balance, even if the balance isn't always there. This week, I will work more hours than I normally would. Last night, my husband and I, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to be present with my kids tonight, I made a really big deal last night that I wanted to go on a long bike ride to the park with the kids and bike home with the kids and have a popsicle after. And I didn't look at my phone for an hour and a half. I didn't check my phone. And guess what? Did clients call? Yeah. Did a realtor call confused about a final commitment and they're mad and blah, blah, blah. And if I would have read that text message or seen that voicemail on the bike ride, it would have probably ruined the experience with my kids, but I didn't because I just didn't look at my phone. And turns out after I put my kids to bed at 7 and I called the realtor back, it had already been solved. No one was still mad and everything was fine because we are not brain surgeons. We're actually really not that important whatsoever. And so just having this reality of putting things in context and feeling gratitude. So instead of that agent who called me mad, even though they had the wrong final commitment date written down, I thought, I'm so thankful that I have such good referral partners that trust me to call me to put their grievances on me because it took away the feeling of anxiety. We also have to be really realistic about what life looks like. To only think that forever you're only going to have to work 40 hours a week, or that you'll never have to answer a phone call on a weekend, or that you're never going to feel stress or anxiety or any of these things, it is unrealistic. But if we're really, really clear on what our goal is, and we share that with our spouse, we share that with our partner, whatever that might be. Some of you in the chat I have met before, and you've all met my husband, because oftentimes you'll see I travel with my husband when I go to a conference. Why? Because when you go to a conference, you're fired up, you're excited, you're growing, you're deciding to make giant changes in your life. And you go and make these decisions all by yourself while you left your spouse behind. Bring them with you. Share your energy with them. Share your excitement with them. Don't create a vision for just your life. You're creating this vision for your whole life, which includes your partner, which includes your children. You want them to buy in. I want my husband to know why I'm hosting a big event tomorrow and why we're doing another one in 2 weeks and why I'm going to speak at a conference next week. I want him to share that excitement and that energy with me. They love you. They chose a life with you. They want to be part of your life. Include them in on the journey. But then also being realistic. So I talk about this 10,000 calendar foot view because with kids comes Christmas time, comes Christmas concerts, comes kindergarten graduations, all of these different things at school that require a lot of our time. That's okay. If you take a step back out of your calendar, you can see there are times to sprint and there are times that you won't have time to sprint. And so I literally go through week by week, month by month in my calendar and I map out. So next week, I'm traveling next week. Instead of trying to book 3 million things this week and then immediately feeling like I left chaotic next week and not really enjoying my trip because now I'm behind, I just didn't do that. I planned this week to leave myself some space to do extra pre-approval meetings ahead of next week. If I know that a holiday is coming up, then and it's Christmas, the first 2 weeks of December, I'm going to stack with realtor appointments. So by the time Christmas comes, if I want to take a day off to cook and hang out with the kids and prepare and put up the Christmas tree, whatever it is, I don't feel any level of guilt around that. But I also didn't throw myself off by an entire month by not showing up for things. So everything is truly a work in progress with stuff like this, between what that morning routine looks like and what that evening routine looks like and how you structure your calendar and all of that. But it has to start with the granular basics that have to fit on your calendar. And then from there, it can pivot to, okay, how do I get the support around this? How do I take this plan to my spouse and say, this is what this needs to look like right now. Do you support me in this? And get them to buy in and communicate with you on it and get a household that's organized, because you can never show up 100% in anything if you don't have a strong foundation and a strong base. I'm going to stop sharing here. If anyone has any questions in the chat, you can go ahead and pop those in there. Someone asked my email address. I will post it in here. You can go ahead and email me at AllisonLarson@guildmortgage.net. You can follow me on Instagram at Allison Larson Loans, and you can always go ahead and put any messages, DM me. I check my own Instagram. There's, no one else is doing it. It's just me there. Some of these things in the Stand store in my link in bio has my efficiency hacks and all of that as well. Caitlin said, I just made a new non-negotiable to never miss a dinner or bedtime. And that goes beyond just physically being home, but emotionally, socially being fully available for my kiddos. It's been a game changer. Caitlin, that is success. I think sometimes we get in the way of ourselves where we take away or we think we're less than as a mother because we are not making some of those things, a priority or whatever, or we should be focusing on work, or I should be calling back this realtor to be the fastest person. If you're a lender that's listening to this right now, can everyone do me a favor and stop doing this too? Stop posting that and bragging that you're working at 7:00 at night. Stop posting and bragging. I'm here. I'm ready to work all weekend long for you. Be a leader. You are not an order taker and you are not a slave to this business. You are a human. This is your profession, and everyone else gets to work 40 hours a week from 8 to 5 and things along that. Create boundaries and be okay with them. Half the time someone calls you on a Saturday and then I call them back and I realize they're not buying a home for 6 months. Why am I on the phone with them? I can just say, hey, do you mind if we connect about this on Monday? I've got my little kids here and I'm giving them a bath. I don't want anyone to drown in the tub. And they'll laugh and be like, oh my gosh, absolutely. Sometimes people just don't know because we've put it out there that we should just whore ourselves out to them whenever someone answers our phone. And that's not what this business has to be by any means of the imagination. Laura, yes, seriously, create boundaries, create balance. I don't know if Ellie is on this, but one thing one of the loan officers in my branch and I've been role playing a lot is how you say no to someone. What do you say when someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do? And it's really, really simple, but sometimes you have to practice it because as females, we want to say yes to everyone because inherently we are caregivers. And so if someone asks me to do something that I can't do, like, hey, do you want to come sit at my open house with me this weekend? Or, hey, I'm doing another billionth client event. Would you come to it? I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for thinking of me. I can't commit to that right now. Easy. You don't have to make excuses. You don't have to say anything like, well, maybe if you send me this many deals, I'll do that. No, you just can't commit to it right now. And that's totally okay. If you're not going to be able to show up 100% for it and be happy and grateful that you're there, don't feel like you need to show up for it at all. Just say, no, I can't commit to that right now. The efficiency hacks, you can click on my Stand Store link and there's a link for my efficiency hacks. And there's also a YouTube video that goes with it as well. The efficiency hacks is a lot of things like, hey, when I'm in the car, I have a pre-planned call list that I go through every single day. And the call list lives in my calendar. Any person that needs to get called the next day, either my team adds them, name, phone number. If you don't have a team, you add it yourself so you don't forget to call them. And these are people that you can quickly call on the phone and the car that you don't have to be in front of your laptop for on the go. So as a mom, you drive places literally constantly. You're going to soccer, you're going to school drop off, you're going to daycare pickup. I talked to 7 realtors before I got to the office this morning before 8 a.m. And everyone's like, how do you get your talk tos in? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's because every single time I'm in motion or doing something, I'm voice memoing something, I'm calling someone, things like that. I get up at 5 a.m. to work out. It never, ever has the alarm gone off at 5 a.m. and that feels good. Actually, right now it goes off at 4:50, which even sucks more because it feels like it's actually still nighttime. But because I know that, I think through, okay, hey, if I get up, what are my hurdles that when I wake up and the alarm goes off, I won't get out of bed? This sounds the most ridiculous thing ever, but one of my hurdles is that I have to go put a sports bra on, and it's annoying when you're tired and your body feels like weak to go put a sports bra on. So the idea of getting ready for a workout in the morning before I go downstairs to work out, I know that's what will stop me from getting out of bed. Now I literally put a sports bra on before I go to sleep so that when I wake up, I feel ridiculous if I slept in a sports bra and I can't even get my butt out of bed to go work out. Before I was really good at working out in the morning, I would literally sleep with my workout clothes on. Like, who cares? No one sees you, right? Like, if that's going to get your butt out of bed in the morning and get you downstairs to walk or lift some weights or whatever, do it. It is figuring out every single time you drop the ball on something, why it didn't happen. For me, for a long time, it was meal prepping on Sundays. I was with the kids all day on Sunday, and it's really hard to meal prep with a toddler and an infant and 2 older kids who want to run and play outside. So I had to talk to my husband and say, hey, I keep not doing this because I feel mom guilt that I'm not spending time with the kids. Can you help me? Or maybe we could all do it together so it goes faster. And then can you help me make sure sometimes he'll order the groceries and then he doesn't order me anything. I'm like, hey, can you help make sure that I've ordered things for me to meal prep my lunches for the week? Katie Poyser, who's going to speak next, actually, one of my favorite things on the efficiency hacks that she's like, now I live and die by this, is having the high protein snacks everywhere in my work bag, in my center console, everywhere I go, I have a high protein snack. It's like I have beef jerky literally just everywhere in my life because sometimes we forget to eat a meal. If I forget to eat a meal or I didn't have time to eat, I'm crabby. Am I really showing up as my best self and going to do my power hour phone calls in the car if I'm pissed and I'm crabby and hungry? No, I'm not going to. I'm going to go stop at a gas station and get snacks instead, which takes time and it throws you off. It is being prepared for every little bit of the thing. And water bottles. I literally always have a water bottle, every car, everything. And at the beginning of the week, I fill them all up and just am prepared for the day always. Kids' backpacks. It's always chaos in the morning and it throws us off our game. My protein shake, I make it the night before. Kids' backpacks, they have to have their snack packed in their backpacks in the car. We've confirmed which car are they taking because who's driving them to school and what time they're leaving. Do they have to leave early? Are they leaving on time? Whatever it might be. But it's really just taking the time and logging and saying, because you're not just going to implement all of these habits all at one time, right? You have to take your time and track and go, okay, why didn't I do this? What got in the way from this happening? Why didn't the morning workout happen? Why didn't I get to my calls? And be really real. And sometimes the answer is you didn't want to do it. And so why didn't you want to do it? Is the goal not big enough? Is everything else not aligned? Are you not clear on what your other boundaries are that you're not having time to get to it? It's a work in progress, but having these things in place will be the game changer that helps you really level to the next level in your business.
I love it, Allison. I live my life, I think, in chaos mode. I got 3 teenagers and it's like, a farm with livestock and it's, just get to what you can. Maybe I need to do better with scheduling and making time for certain things.
Well, thank you for having me on, Mitch. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Anybody have any final questions for Allison?
Would you mind? Katie is next, right?
Actually, she is third.
Oh, she is third. Okay.
Yep.
I was going to
So
hijack
Scott.
and I was going to ask if I could intro her, but I will give you back your show then.
Okay. Yeah, you can come back. She's on at 10:20 if you want.
All right, perfect. I'll be
You wanna
watching
come
for
back.
her.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Allison.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to bring on our first sponsor of the day. There he is. John, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. And yourself?
Hey, doing good, man. Doing good. I'm going to give you the
You
stage.
hear me and everything.
Yep, I'll give you the stage so you can tell us all about the Mortgage Broker Builder.
Yeah, I actually got something I want to share here, so bear with me. I just want to make sure that this works. Let's see. Look at that. Okay, awesome.
There you go.
Perfect. So who am I? John Jerkovich, Mortgage Broker Builder. Got just a couple of quick things here for you. But thing number one, love what Mitch is doing. Love the fact that you're showing up here to get incrementally better, right? We're all blessed with 1,440 minutes every single day. And the fact that you're showing up here, what Mitch is doing is just awesome. Love to be part of it and involved in it. And let me go to my next slide. So I like to draw things, and we all have the effort that we can put forth, our skill set. The more skills we have, the more effort we get together, the farther we move. The more that we go, as we start adding additional skills, our fulcrum gets bigger. So this is just me alone. This is me with some skills. This is when I combine them. And that is not the presentation that I wanted. Okay, we're just going to drop the presentation. I'm just going to stop sharing. That's interesting. Okay, well, I will. Let me just do this. Present, share screen. I do apologize. Hopefully you are running around going to the bathroom or something right now. It picked up a slideshow just from somewhere. I don't even know. Okay. How about this? Okay, that's way better. I'm gonna go back. It'll make a little more sense. So now that you can actually see what I was talking about, we got effort. You put your effort and your skill together, you start to get some kind of success. You get a little bit more of that, and you have this little diagram here. Whereas you start to add systems to it, you begin to get scale. And that's really where our businesses start to take off. And I think that a lot of the stuff that Mitch is doing here, this entire thing is to try and help you with effort, your skills, like the young woman was just speaking about before, having a structure to your day. That's skills. You start putting it all together and really good things happen. Well, I have a community where there's literally 1,000+ things posted in there, whether they be sales techniques, different little tidbits, market updates, a whole lot of stuff that should be able to help you with skills, systems, and everything together. And inside of there, there's a bunch of different playbooks and likes to leads, niches in the riches, complete playbooks to tell you where to take your business from A to Z, every single step that you need to do. And I know that a lot of what Mitch is trying to do here is doing things that don't cost a ton of money, right? If we had millions of dollars, we may not be listening to this. So I'm trying to be conscious of that. So anybody that's listening here that wants to check out my stuff, I've got a QR code right here on the screen. You can go in there. It's completely free. You get full access to a whole lot of different things. Now, I'm not sure that every single thing that's posted in there is for you particularly, but there's definitely somebody out there that it is for. So that's my goal, is to bring maximum just value per minute. Every single day, there's little things that show up in there that will help you or could help you and your business grow. And I just want to be part of people that will take time on a Wednesday and Thursday to try and get incrementally better, take advantage of their 1,440 minutes that they have, and spend it doing things to move them ahead. So I just like to see grinders. And that's it. I want you to be part of my community. I want to get to know you better.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm a part of the community, and a lot of great information and a lot of, like you said, value to help people just get a little bit better each and every day. So I appreciate you joining us. Appreciate you sponsoring. and look forward to hearing your presentation tomorrow on day 2 of the event.
Yeah, no, excited to do it. Going to be talking about how do you actually add value? What does it mean? And we all talk about adding value, but at the end of the day, what is it? I don't know. Maybe we'll discuss that tomorrow and get a little bit more in there. But
awesome.
I appreciate you doing this. I think it's great. You're definitely helping people out. You're making them incrementally better. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Awesome. I appreciate the support, man. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Scan the QR code. Get in there. Show me some love. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.